Hi. Recently, I had the opportunity to go down to Fishing Complete Incorporated's offices in Canton, Michigan, to talk with the owners and founders of the company, Mr. Dennis Cullen and Mr. Tom Taylor. It is their 25th anniversary, and they are the owners of Fishing Complete Incorporated, Case Plastics, the original Owacky tool, and Zipperworm. This interview is what they had to say about what they've seen in the past and where they see the future. I'm here today at the home of Fishing Complete / Case Plastics, and I'm with the founders and owners of the company, Dennis Cullen and Tom Taylor. And Fishing Complete are the owners of Zipperworm, Case Plastics, and the original Owacky tool. And what I'd like to do is just ask these guys how they started this company, what products they have, and I'm going to let them talk and tell us all about their company now.
I guess it's my turn.
You first.
Well, let's talk about Case Plastics. That's really what started this company. It was before me. I kind of founded the company back in 2001, but in 1996, Charlie Case, the founder of Case Plastics, came out with the Mad Tom. And few people know, but this Mad Tom is a small catfish that lives in almost every river, stream in America. And in the West Virginia areas where he started, it is illegal to catch and use alive as bait. So he decided he would make one out of plastic, and that's kind of how it got started. I met Charlie in 2001, and he was looking for people to help sell the product up in the northern states, and me being a northern boy, I need a little bit more money to offset my fishing habit, as a lot of us do. So I took on the task of finding some customers and finding some stores, and away it went. I started playing around with the Wacky tool because of Dennis. Dennis and I went out fishing one time, and he had this goofy looking piece of aluminum and said, "Here, let's do some wacky style fishing." And I had heard of it, I tried doing it, but I never heard of putting a rubber O-ring on a worm. And he showed me the tool that he had bought from...
I saw it in a catalog someplace, and I bought it and went from there.
Yeah. I actually called the gentleman that made those and tried to strike a deal with him to sell them for him, and he wanted nothing to do with it. I told him I thought we could come up with a cheaper version, because he was selling for like $12, $13.
Yeah, they were quite expensive.
And he didn't want to play with me at all on trying to market them, so I kind of took it on myself to take a few different ideas, kicked them around, found one that worked, and that was kind of the start of the whole Fishing Complete company. Once I founded that, and after I brought on Case Plastics, I don't know, that seems like yesterday?
Yeah, I've been with the company for about 6 years, and the time flies. It goes by so fast. We have a good time up here. We enjoy working. It's not like work. This isn't work. It's fun.
Yeah, most definitely. We sure have gone through a lot of money in making these things.
Oh, yeah. But
we're not rich, but we do enjoy what we do, and we're having a whole hell of a lot
we
of
like
fun.
trying out our new stuff.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. We got these new baits we're coming out with. We're just waiting to try them out and see how they work. We've got a lot of interest in them, and we hope they go over.
So a lot of what you have here is some of the new stuff that you're coming out with?
Yeah, some of it is new, some of it's old. Jerry Toner, our marketing director, she kind of put this all together for us. But we can go down and talk about the different stages, I guess, of the company and how it evolved with some of the stuff. As I said in the beginning, the Mantom is what started it. But soon after the Mantom came the Helgramite. And actually the Helgramite was my first time at making a mold or being involved with having a mold made. And I had no idea that molds cost so much. I was kind of shocked with that, but it was all good. I mean, after that, it gave me a history, gave me some knowledge and experience, and you know, it just all started to evolve. Once we had the case plastics, and once we had the wacky tool all set, I just felt like I needed more, and that's how I met my marketing director. Her and I knew each other for a few years, doing shows and trade shows, and she had worked for the Zipperworm company, selling in the Michigan area, and she informed me that I was up for sale, so I thought, hey, I come this far, let's go further. You know, my wife may have not liked it, but that's all right. We're having a good time still. Still trying to develop, bring out new products, and that is the key for this type of business. And as everybody knows in the fishing industry, new products, new products, new products, and that's what moves your company. We don't move as fast as I'd like to, only because of the thousands and thousands of dollars it takes to make a mold, so we can create new products. So,
Tom, can you talk a little bit about the marketplace for case plastics? Where are we really firmly entrenched versus where Zipperworm started, and what kind of overlap presence does that give you?
you know, it's strange you asked me that, because I thought about that a lot. The case plastics, when it was developed down in Virginia, West Virginia, you know, he kind of figured, Charlie Case that is, he kind of figured that the stuff that he was coming up with was defined for his area, like the Mad Tom. You know, I'd never seen a little catfish in the rivers in our area here in Michigan. Not until I started looking for them. But he told me about them. It kind of piqued my interest that I'd never heard of it or knew about it, but sure enough, he was right. I have seen them here in some of the streams. I've talked to many people that fish the Detroit River, the Huron River, rivers throughout Michigan, Ohio, New York, Pennsylvania. They all have heard about them, and they do work. I mean, it is a forage that smallmouth specifically love.
They imitate a goby.
Exactly. Actually, a goby imitates them. All right, because these were first. These have always been here. It's just that we didn't really know about them. They have a history of being able to hide under rocks and things like that. I've kicked rocks only to find them. And that's how I did find them.
That's where these come from too.
Yeah,
The
that's,
Helgamites.
you know, I don't know if many people remember Michigan Outdoors by Fred Trost.
Yeah.
He did a show about these one year, and he picked up a live one and found out how nasty these little things were. The front end, those pinchers, grabbed onto his finger, and I think everybody in the TV land laughed for weeks over that. I mean, it drew blood, got him good, and he screamed. It's kind of a funny show, but there's a lot of different interesting things that, you know, I have seen, been introduced to, and I just hope Dennis has been able to feel the things that I've felt over the years.
Oh,
You know, it's a love, it's a passion.
well, we've been fishing for a long time. I started bass fishing, tournament fishing about 1975. And I've gone all through St. Clair where all you caught was largemouth. You never even caught a smallmouth. You'd go fish the Indian Islands. You'd fish in the channels and the bays and everything else there. And now it's gotten to the point to where smallmouth, you bring a largemouth into a weigh and says, where'd you get that fish at? And that's the way it is now. And we're developing baits for that kind of fishing. And we've got some good ones, we think, and they work. And we've caught fish on them. We're coming up with some new ones.
This 2 years ago, we had met a gentleman, Atalo Labignan. He's producer of the Canadian Sport Fishing Show. Hell of a nice guy. The only problem with Atalo is he's a walleye fisherman, which I'm quickly becoming. I'm a bass fisherman, but as we worked and got to know Atalo, he had asked us about designing a worm for him, or a minnow for him, and this is our end product. We're still revising things, and we will see newer things come out, colors and things like that in the near future. But along with this, we also developed a little jig for him. We call it a googly eye jig. And as you can see by the
Right
eye,
alongside
that's
you,
where it
Jerry.
came from,
Look at
the
it.
googly eye. They
It's
also
a toss
fly.
and a catch.
There you go. And hence the googly eye, that's where we come from, just by looking at the eyes. But anyway, this was done for Atalo, for walleye fishing. Very much looking forward to getting out this spring. As the people in this area realize about the Detroit River, Lake Erie, Lake St. Clair, we are walleye people as well as smallmouth people. So
There's another product, I don't mean to interrupt, but the one
Nope.
that I first got acquainted with is your little fry for catching crappie. And I
Yes.
don't know if that's out here on the table, but I'm gonna tell you, I have a lot of good luck with that plastic.
We just got 4 new colors. Just got 4 new colors in them.
Great, great.
I think that is a very, very interesting little bait. I knew little about crappie fishing other than putting a worm on a hook and using a bamboo pole from when I was a kid. You know, I used to do a ton of that. That's really how I started fishing. But when we came up with that, and I used that bass fishing, I quickly learned, that it was quite versatile and how much fun panfish fishing is and how much I enjoy eating them.
Yeah. When you fish for crappie, are you using them on a jig and then like a slip bobber with this plastic?
Yeah, that was the first way I learned.
Because I hadn't done it that way. This one right here is called JT's Jewel. And I have had more doggone luck with that one, but the way that I've always done it is with a 16th ounce jig, and then because I'm a walleye fisherman, I like to troll. We put them out both sides of the boat, usually 2 rods on each side, and we troll with these, and we've done very well trolling for
Wow.
crappie with those.
Well, that's something else that we need to discuss. You need to take us out fishing, and we can trade, ways of fishing, which I think is something that we all need to do. I love learning how to fish different species, and everything is different. I started out as a crappie fisherman when I was a young kid. I got into bass fishing. I love to be competitive about it, but the older I get, the more I find enjoyment just out of catching different styles and different kinds of fish.
Yeah.
I look forward to doing stuff like that, and hopefully you and I, or you and us, you know, we can all get together and maybe do a couple of days of different styles of fishing.
I would love to take you out fishing. Count on it. At some point in time, we're gonna make that happen. Definitely. So, one last question I guess I have for you guys is how do you determine the colors that you're gonna make these plastics in? Is it trial and error? Is it other fishermen are telling you what works in certain areas, or how do you come up with the color?
Yeah. Everything you said,
Oh, is it?
basically.
Okay.
You know, you get involvement from your customers, your friends.
Like the JT Jewel,
Yeah. We all know
this Jerry Toner.
Yep.
Jerry Toner.
Marketing director.
Yep.
Yes.
Had this one
That's
named
hers.
after. Folks, if you haven't ever tried this one, please go to Fishing Complete, look up Case 2-inch Low Fry, JT's Jewel. I've never been let down with that one. And they've got all these new colors that they just came out with
Yep.
this year.
What about that guy Mike Borovich? Doesn't he have a,
Oh yeah, Mike Borovic has one too. It's called the Mikey's 2-inch Tickler. And happened to be, I was lucky enough to be the one that named that. And I won the contest that was put on by these folks. So, yeah, Mikey's 2-inch Tickler. We don't have that out here, do we, Jerry?
yes, we do,
Do we?
right in front of you, the package on the front. One of the little fry packages.
This one?
Nope, keep going backwards. Green. That's, I'm sorry, yes, that one right there.
Oh, I finally get to see it. I haven't seen this one yet. Mikey's 2-inch Tickler. So,
That is something that we also need to do is get Mike down here and to our, you know, people out there, just so you know a little bit. Mike lives in Canada, and unfortunately, we've not been able to sit down for about 1.5 years now because of, you know, the present situation. Because it is a roar when we get Mike over here.
I believe
We
that.
have a good time. You know, we don't need too many refreshments. We just get a little crazy.
Yeah.
But being crazy comes new product lines. Speaking of,
New products, we've got one right here. This one is just coming out on the market. It's called a pintail worm. It's 7.5 inches long. It's floating plastic. It floats. And, well, we hope to have good luck with it. We've got a number of colors. This is baby bass right here. It's a laminate. And it's very soft. It floats. Plus, you can cut it at the egg sac and use it for a drop shot worm when it wears out. And should I say, we got new ones coming out?
yeah, we do have a new version coming out, but yeah, we'll keep
It's in
them
the
hanging.
making. It's in the making right now.
Gonna keep that under wraps for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah,
It's in
just
the
for right
making.
now. Yeah.
Mhm.
Steve, do you see this being applicable to walleye applications?
Yeah, I do. Like I was saying earlier, what I would do as far as using this is where this egg sac is, I would cut it off right there, like what you were saying about doing with the drop shot, and then just put it on a jig with a stinger hook. I'd use that for walleye that way. Maybe not its intended purpose, but you know, you find a way to make other things work too.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, you say intended, you know, we found out that a number of the zipper smaller version worms are being used as walleye worms. I think even yourself has said, you know, why don't you use this for walleye fishing? And, you know, we're
have
being
used it.
educated by a lot of our, you know, the people that we know, people like yourself, our customers, that come back and say, this is what I caught, this is what I caught, so.
It's funny you say that. Early on, when I first got acquainted with you guys, Jerry sent me some stuff to go try. And I was walleye fishing on, over by Grand Rapids, and I caught I don't remember the size, but it was a lake trout on one of these plastics. Remember that, Jerry? I sent you the picture. I was totally shocked that I was catching what was intended to be for walleye.
Right.
You know, that doesn't mean that you're gonna catch that specific species. If they're
True.
hungry, they're gonna eat it, so. I
Can we talk
guess-
a little bit about, excuse me, Steve.
Go ahead.
Can we talk a little bit about, Tom, the background of Zipperworms and why they're so well known, how successful they were?
Yeah, sure. think Dennis touched on a little bit that back in the late 70s, Zipperworm was developed, and they had 2 or 3 different styles out on the market. And a lot of the bass fishermen knew of them, a lot of the bass fishermen used them, and they quickly became one of the top money earners on the trail, the Bassmaster Trail. And just like everything else, they showed up quickly and they left quickly. And it's truly just like Jerry Toner, marketing, marketing, marketing. And without that, and somebody that has a knowledge of doing that, your stuff will die. And you need to have that. But they're unique bait. And even today, as new baits are coming out, you can see the similarities. A lot of people have used our profile or our style of that Zipperworm to manufacture theirs. So you see this ribbed action bait, and how many baits different companies are using that
A lot
right
of them,
now.
a lot of them.
So,
The whole
A
idea
lot of
behind it,
big companies are using them too.
yeah.
the whole idea behind that is when you use that zipper style bait and it drops into the water, it actually collects bubbles, air bubbles in
right.
between the ribs. And as it falls, it releases those air bubbles.
Yep.
Therefore, the lateral lines on the fish pick that vibration up.
It is interesting, you know. I have met so many people over the years that are in the same business, and they all have their similar stories that I do, I'm quite sure of. But the one thing that is very common is that we all have one thing in common, that love of fishing. It doesn't matter if we're millionaires or if we take $10 home at the end of the day so we can put that $10 for the gas in our boat. That's what fishing is. Fishing is love of the sport, and that's, I think, why Dennis and I are here.
Yep. I've been retired, I retired in 2001. And, about 6 years ago, Tom and I were talking, there, and his ex-partner was having some health problems, and he was looking to get out, and I ended up buying him out. And it's the best thing I ever did. I enjoy it, keeps me busy, keeps me not sitting at home in front of the TV or arguing with my wife. But it's just, the best thing I did was get in this business, and I've enjoyed every minute of it since then.
Well, folks, I just want to say I appreciate the coming down here to the headquarters of Case Plastics, Fishing Complete, and bringing these fellas to you to view and to see the product that they have. If you get a chance, go to their website, Fishing Complete Inc., look up the product. You won't be sorry that you did. I want to thank you guys for letting me do this. And until the next time, take care and God bless.
And it's our 25th anniversary.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. 25th anniversary. Forgot to throw that in there. So there you have it, folks. Thanks for watching.